Why is it in the nature of human to make mistakes despite the awareness of not to?
Because inside of us there is the ego. And the ego, it is created, and the ego's characteristic is to be disobedient. But inside of us there is also the spirit. And the spirit has been created in obedience to the will of Allah. This battle is continuing. The spirit, it is supported, but the ego is also supported. Ego is supported by this world. Ego is supported by shaitan. Ego is supported by our desires. So today, if we say we're going to give more power to our ego than to our spirit, then you're always going to fall into this station of being heedless and committing so many mistakes. The word human too, insan, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying through the mouths of his friends. Shaykh Effendi, Shaykh Maulana saying, insan is Hazrati insan. What is Hazrat? Holiness. Meaning every human, every insan is created with holiness, from holiness. We believe in original holiness, original innocence, not original sin. And we're going back to that original holiness. That insan, Hazrati insan, the Bani Adam, that the khutbah was saying, Allah is saying, and we have honored the children of Adam. This is our original characteristic. Don't say it is humans to make mistakes. It is the characteristic of the ego to make mistakes. It is not the characteristic of the spirit. Because so many, when it comes to situations like this, they say, well, what can we do? We are not perfect. We make mistakes, giving excuse for that. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us in ahsani taqwim. He has created us as the most perfect, in the most perfect form. You think that most perfect form will do things that is against the will of Allah? It's impossible. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put this most perfect form, the spirit, next to the ego. Now when our spirit fights against the ego, it'll come closer to Allah. So now we come to the wisdom and the secret of why the ego is there, why shaitan is there, why the dunya, why our desires are there. Because these is not pulling us back. It pulls us back when we let it. If we don't let it, if we use the will that Allah has given us, and we take them under our feet, then they will give us the power to come closer to Allah. If you're not fighting against your ego, you cannot come close. It's impossible. So, we are saying, we're living in this world, we have our spirit, we have our ego. You want to say we're humans? Can we say we are humans? So many don't fit into that category. They are worse than animals. What makes us to be human? What makes us to be human is how we represent Allah makes us to be human. It's not how we represent our ego or animal characteristics that makes us human. Because we have been created not to represent shaitan or our ego. We have been created to represent Allah. That makes us human. So certain things, also words that you are using, you have to understand from which source it's coming so that you don't get muddy with it. So, We have our ego and dunya. We have our desires, and we have shaitan. But Allah has sent us prophets. Allah has sent us saints. Allah sending us angels. Allah is speaking directly to us. They are all speaking directly to us. And now, the choice is in front of us. We have to put our will down. Now, there is a choice. Which one are we going to choose? You are weak. You say, my ego is overtaking me and I cannot make the right choice, although I want to make the right choice. If you are weak, find strength. Don't say you are weak and use that as an excuse. If you are sick, you find a cure. If you are very sick, you find a doctor. If you are dying and you don't want to die, you will turn the world upside down to find a cure for you or for your loved ones. Now we're talking about the sickness of the spirit. Sickness of the spirit, if the spirit is being sick by the ego that is surrounding it, find those ones, what we call the tabibul qulub, the doctors of the heart, the awliya Allah, our shaykh, those ones who are strong, and they will give that strength to you. There's no excuse now. Then at that time you're given a choice. Now the doctor says, do this, take this medicine, and your ego says, no, I want to smoke. Make your choice. That is given to you. No one is going to blame you. On the day of judgment, you cannot blame anyone but yourself. Islam, it is a religion for the responsible adult, for the mature human being, that you cannot blame anyone but yourself. You cannot blame Allah, you cannot blame shaitan. Because Allah has given you that choice that He has not given to any other creature that He has created. And it is clear that there is the will of Allah and there is the will of our ego. He has put that in our hearts and He has given us help through 124,000 prophets, 104 books, millions of awliya Allah, our conscience. What else we need? Sending us signs from every direction. What else do we need? The one who is stubborn and the one who is blind. Even if 1,000 suns shine on him, he will insist it is darkness. So again, until we open our heart, nothing will come. Because it is forbidden in Islam too, to just enter into any house or any room without permission. You have to knock and you have to ask permission. And the truth is like that. If you don't open your heart and invite truth in, truth is not going to force itself to you. There is no compulsion in religion. May Allah forgive me, bless our Shaykh, inshallah, and bless all of us. I will see you soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Al-Fatiha. Amin.